Rev up your engines! Believe it or not, this box can keep your vehicle from being stolen. Just remember, put your keyless remote inside the box and close it. Now you may or may not have seen that video where there's a guy who gets dropped off in front of somebody's house. He fiddles around for 20 seconds with electronics, then he jumps in the guy's car and he drives away with it. Now, door cameras that took those kind of videos are fine for giving you information about who stole your car, but they're not going to keep somebody from stealing your car. This little box can. It's called a Faraday box. I bought this one for like, I don't know, 18 bucks on Amazon. And as you can see, it's lined inside. The lining keeps anything from either sending or receiving signals, and in this case it is a keyless remote. Instead of using a key to start your car, there's signals in here. All you got to do is, there goes the vehicle. Thieves can steal your car by accessing your keyless remote, even if it's inside your house. So make it a habit. Get one of these, put your keys, and if you're really a fanatic, put your credit cards in there too, and then they can't access this to get your door to open to start your vehicle and steal it. And for all guys like me, hey, just stick all my keys in there at night, even though I don't have any keyless remotes, because my wife's always saying, why don't you put your keys away? You're always looking for your keys. Where's my keys? Where's my keys? If you got a nice box, put it in the box every time. Train yourself, you know, like training a dog to do tricks, right? Train yourself to always put your keys inside the box. But how do you know if the box works? Get a cell phone, put it in the box, then get another cell phone and dial that number. Now, if this box works, and this one does, it's not ringing. Signals can't go in and out, right? But let's say somebody's ripping you off and they're selling you a cheap Faraday box. You put a phone in there and it rings. That box is no good. Take it back. Tell them it doesn't work. And then they'll say, well, how do you know? Show them with a phone. Say, look, the data's going back and forth. Give me one that actually works. Now, in this case, the phone didn't ring, so your credit card, remote, that's for a keyless ignition system, will not be able to be accessed by somebody outside to get the information. This was an $18 one from Amazon. As you can see, it works perfectly fine. The phone didn't ring, but believe you me, if you buy one of these things, do put a cell phone in it, call it with another cell phone, and see if the stupid thing rings. Because if it does ring, that means you got a crappy box. You know, things like these days. Somebody just make a box and call it a Faraday box, but it isn't. This one worked, so we know no one's going to be able to steal a car. Now, this is one reason where technology is not particularly a good thing. This is the key to my Matrix over here, right? And the Matrix has an Immobilizer key. There's a chip in here. And it wouldn't matter if somebody even accessed this chip, because you got to have the key to unlock the door. And once you do that, you got to have a key to turn the ignition switch on, right? As far as I'm concerned, the Immobilizer key is the best invention. Now, you remember in that Kia challenge, right, where people were stealing Kias because Kias just had plain keys, a bunch of them. They didn't bother putting Immobilizer chips, so they were very easy to steal. Break the lock and they could steal the car. If you broke the lock on this, it wouldn't start because it needs the chip in here for the Immobilizer. So again, we have too much technology put into cars. The Immobilizer chip's been around for ages, and at least the good companies have ones that are pretty much foolproof. Toyotas, Hondas, right? Now, Ford's had problems with their Immobilizer keys forever because their systems were garbage to begin with. They just had so many problems with them, right? A good system like in a Toyota or a Honda with an Immobilizer makes your car really hard to steal. So really, replacing an Immobilizer key that has to have a key cut with just a completely electronic, both opening the door system and starting the vehicle with the keyless ignition system, to me, it's not a step forward, it's a step backwards. But if you're like many people these days and you just gotta have the keyless remote and the convenience of blah, 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 hey, get yourself one of these Faraday boxes. You get home, put it in. These don't take up all that much space. So let's say you go on vacation, bring a Faraday box with you to the hotel room. You don't want to be on vacation and somebody steals your car while you're on vacation. Talk about the quickest way on earth to ruin a vacation, right? And you won't have to worry about it if you got the key in one of these. Because with this, they can't access your keyless remote. And if they can't get into this, because it's in a box, they're not going to steal your car. And also realize if they do get into it, because you got it lying around, you could say goodbye to your burglar alarm system. It isn't going to do anything, because when they get this information, the vehicle's stupid. It got the right information coming out of the machine that they have that stole this, and it just thinks you're in the car and lets you drive away, right? It's not even going to go beep, 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 honk, honk, honk. People don't pay that much attention to that anyways, but it won't do that because it thinks it's you because it stole the information. So you got to have one of these. My advice is get a Faraday box. And as I said, test it with a cell phone to make sure the thing actually works. Not that hard to do. I mean, this one was like 18 bucks. So it's not that big of an expense. And it sure beats going outside and finding your car gone. Now, since I just showed you how to save yourself from having your car stolen, here's something that might save your life if you happen to get into a wreck. These little glass breaking hammers with a little razor for cutting seat belts are extremely useful if you get in a big wreck, especially if you're hanging upside down and you got to cut the seat belt and you're jammed in and the windows aren't going to roll down because the car's all wrecked and smashed, right? These little babies, I'll take the cover off, have a nice carbide tip, and when you whack it on the window, it will shatter it. And if you're stuck in your seat belt and you can't get out, little razor blade built inside cuts these things really easy. Now, unfortunately, the junkyard here in Clarksville went out of business. And I used to go to junkyards to show how these work. They'd let me smack a window to give them some free PR for their junkyard, right? And they let me cut the seat belts. Well, I'm not going to wreck my son's window or seat belt, but believe you me, these things work. Now, I've had people say to me, Scotty, why do I buy this thing? I can just get a hammer or stick a hammer in the car to smash it. Well, that's true to some extent. Now, these don't cost very much money anyways. But here's the thing about these. See the size that they are? Well, watch this. They fit very neatly in the center console. And that's a big thing, because if you need to get out and you've been in a wreck, you got a hammer, where is it? You put it under the seat, it might have rolled all over the place. And even you put it in the glove box where there's usually room, right? Who says you're going to be able to access the glove box the way the car's smashed and stuff? But right here, it's in there. You can pull it out, get yourself out of the car. So really, just like that Faraday box that keeps your car from being stolen, hey, these little glass breakers, they don't cost much money, and they can save you a lot of grief just by sticking one in the center console. Just saw something else to check this Faraday box, okay? Let's say your cell phone's too big and it won't fit in this little box, right? Here's your key. We're inside the car, right? Let's put it inside the Faraday box. Close it tight. Now we'll try to start it. Here we go. Push the button, and what does it do? It says key not detected. Now we'll open the box. Let the cat out of the box, or in this case, let the key out of the box. It's now open, and let's see if the car starts. Starts right up. So hey, this box really does work. And come to think of it, that's a better way of testing it anyways. I just like the idea of sticking a cell phone in the box, you know? But this is a better test. Just put it in the box, close it. Car doesn't start, you know that box is a working. Now the third thing I'm going to talk about that can help save you a lot of hassles in my trunk. Fix-a-flat. Now, unfortunately, many new cars do not come with spare tires anymore. They say, oh, it weighs less, they get better gas mileage. No, it's just cheaper to make them that way, right? It was bad enough that this Matrix has one of those baby donut spares. At least you got a spare. Now they don't even put those in half the cars. Now I know there's a lot of car manufacturers, oh, they'll put a little cheap plastic electric air pump and say, oh, well, pump it up and drive it. What if you've got something in there and it's leaking out too fast? Obviously it went down for a reason, right? Well, this fix-a-flat stuff actually does work quite well. I don't advise putting it as a preventative measure because, hey, this is pretty heavy, okay? 24 ounces, right? You throw this stuff in your tire, odds are at higher speeds it's going to throw the balance of your tire, and then your steering wheel might shake and stuff. But in a pinch, if you're stuck and you got a flat tire, you just screw this on, push the button, fill it up, and then if you do have a pump it up to like 32 psi to fill it up. At least you can drive it. I mean, look, even a bottle says, we recommend treated tire be repaired within 3 days or 100 miles after using Fix-a-Flat. And since it's wintertime now, it even gives you good advice. If it's below 32, it says run your car's heater and heat this up so it's warmer so it'll work better, then put it in the tire. You can see this is the new formulation. Tire sensor safe. It's not going to ruin tire pressure monitoring system. Each wheel has the sensor. It's not going to hurt it or anything. Now, it does make kind of a gooey mess inside the tire, and if you have to buy another tire, warn the guy ahead of time that you put Fix-A-Flat in it, so he'll know when he takes it apart, he's going to have to clean the goo out. It's not that hard to clean out. I use a wire brush on an air grinder and just wire brush it off, or you can spray solvents to get it off. It's not that big of a deal. The tire guys whine and whine and whine. If you're stuck somewhere and you don't have a spare tire, hey, this works as a spare tire in a can. You gotta be prepared first, right? You gotta have the Faraday box. You don't want to have your car stolen and then later buy a Faraday box, because that's like closing the gate after the cows have already left. You can sleep better at night knowing nobody's gonna steal your car. Knowing if you get stuck in your car, you can hammer your way out. And knowing that if you do get a flat tire and your car doesn't have a spare, you won't be stuck in the middle of nowhere. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.